For all the Godfather's bloody violence and volatile family drama, you might expect star Al Pacino to need therapy, and he did. But it wasn't the legendary mafia film's grim themes that sent him to the shrink. And the obvious star of the show is Al Pacino.
In 5 years, the Corleone family is going to be completely legitimate. Trust me, that's all I can tell you about my business.
Apparently, the dramatic role also changed Al Pacino so much that, as he told the Hollywood Reporter's Awards Chatter podcast, the actor needed therapy after playing it. But it wasn't for the reason you're probably thinking. It's not like he got too much into the mind of a cutthroat mafia boss, lost his grip on reality, and had to psychoanalyze his way back down to earth. It wasn't the role that got to Al Pacino, but rather the real world after the movie made him an instant celebrity. The Godfather wasn't his first film, but it was his big break, and all of a sudden he found himself on the receiving end of an immense amount of attention. And the fame wasn't easy to get used to. He basically had full creative control over his career after the movie came out, but that control came at a price. He explained, "It was a big thing to get used to. I remember actor Lee Strasberg saying to me, 'Darling, you simply have to adjust.' And you simply do, but it's not so simple." Indeed, the adjustment process was easier said than done, and the effects of that fame would end up lasting decades. He admitted, quote, "I had therapy 5 days a week for 25 years. And he wasn't kidding. Al Pacino was so busy with therapy and adjusting that he only did 5 movies total in the 1980s. Of course, one of those was his other legendary gangster flick, Scarface, so no complaining here. It's about quality, not quantity, right?
Say hello to my little friend!
He explained, "I just wanted to move away from the pace of the whole thing, and it was good for me." He also noted he liked staying out of the limelight until he was forced to jump back in, admitting, quote, "I enjoyed it, but then, as happens, the money runs out."
Just when I thought I was out, they pulled me back in.
As Pacino told The Hollywood Reporter, he didn't even want the role of Michael Corleone at first. He wanted to play Sonny, though that role went to James Caan. And funnily enough, everyone else involved with the movie except director Francis Ford Coppola didn't want him on the cast at all. The studio only agreed to let him play the role of Michael after he'd done 3 auditions. Even after he got the role, his position on the cast was shaky. According to the Washington Post, Paramount execs had been eyeing actors like Robert Redford and Ryan O'Neal for the part, and once shooting began, they almost started to regret their decision. They tried to fire Pacino 3 times, calling his performance anemic. However, despite his and their misgivings, Pacino is Pacino, and he knew what he was doing. He explained, "I was trying to create a character who you don't know where you're at with him. I knew it was a tough part to pull off. Michael's so insular, so private." Then they shot the scene where Michael offs his father's rival Virgil Sollozzo and the crooked cop Mark McCluskey, and everyone on set knew they had the right man in the role. Francis Ford Coppola gushed, "His intelligence is what I noted first. He knows how to use his gifts. He uses what he has, this striking magnetic quality, this smoldering ambience."